we have our completed square. So the next thing we need is two shades of the same colour, a very light version and a very dark version. And if I just show you this square, so you can see that I've done that with a very dark sunflower yellow and a very bright sunflower yellow. Let's have a look. We've got some more here, some more examples. We've got blues here. I used a very light blue and a very dark blue. Obviously not as dark as the navy, but you know what I mean. Here we've got orange. So we've gone with a very light orange and a very dark orange. And then purple. We've gone with very light purple, very dark purple. So you get the principle. So they are all blue because, as already mentioned, one of my grandsons just wants blue, whilst the other one wants rainbow colours. Lots of colours like a rainbow. So here we go. Let's move our scissors and our ruler out the way. We're always going to start with the lighter colour. So you're going to make 12 squares. You always start with the lighter colour. If you don't, the illusion is not going to be the same. So please stick to it to avoid disappointment. Okay, so I've got my lighter green, and we're just going to pick any corner, but I tend to pick the corner with the tail end. I don't know why I do that, I just think it looks tidier. So how I do this, I hook the yarn, as you saw then. This is the tail end, this is the working side. Excuse me coughing. I just hook the wool, I bring it through that corner hole, and using both strands I chain 3. So 1, 2, quite tightly, 3. And then I leave that so that I can sew that in nicely. But if you wanted to, you could just snip that and it would stay secure. But I like to sew the ends in, especially as I'm making them for my grandsons, who are, what are they now, 3 and 4. So it's going to be going in the washing machine quite a bit. So I want those ends to be really secure. So we're going to work 2 trebles into this corner. Okay, and now this becomes our edge. So we're here on this. Okay, and we're going to work across here. So we're just going to work treble clusters into each of the gaps on the robe leaf until we get to the corner. So 1 treble, 2 trebles, 3, and that's our cluster. On to the next one. 1 treble, 2 trebles, 3 trebles. Oops. On to the next cluster. 1. Oh, let's unravel some yarn. So as mentioned before, we need at least 10 grams of this contrast colour per square. So that's 1, 2, 3. We're on to the next cluster. 1, 2, 3. Oops, 3. And a little reminder that if I'm going too fast for you, YouTube will allow you to slow down the video, and conversely, if I'm going too slow for you, it'll allow you to speed it up. So we're on a corner now, so this is where we change colour. So we can work 3 trebles into our corner. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we're going to work 1 chain stitch, and we're going to pull that quite securely. Now I'm going to put that down while I get the other colour. Just going to unravel some of the other colour. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slip first this colour just through. Now you're going to pull the first colour tight and just hold it there. Then you're going to pull your work close to the hook, and then we're going to chain using both strands. Okay, so I'm going to pull a chain through there. Ready? 1, and I'm going to pull it tight. Okay, and we're going to make sure that it's tight and secure. Now only on these joins I'm going to use both strands to do the first treble. Now we push that yarn behind, we push the colour we've changed from behind, but we don't snip it, we keep it attached. And we're going to work a treble using the 2 strands of the new colour. Okay, there we are. And I'm going to pull the end to make sure it's tight. Okay, so it looks a little bit clumsy, but it does all come together when you continue working. So we're going to work a further 2 trebles in this corner with our new colour. There we go. So that's what that looks like. Okay, we're going to work across this side now. So we're going to be doing treble clusters into each of these holes until we get to the corner. So 1, 2, 3, on to the next one. 1, 2, 3. Now hopefully me using these different colour yarns will help you to see more clearly. Some people really respond well to seeing the light colours, and some really respond well to seeing the dark colours. So hopefully having these contrasts will help you as you're watching the video to be able to see clearly what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm working now on the last cluster of this side, number 3. There we go. Let's stop there so you can see how it looks. Okay. Now we're going to go into our corner here, and we're going to work 1 treble cluster. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the end now of that row. And what we're going to do now, we're going to turn around and we're going to come back along here and back down here. So we're going to work 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to work treble clusters across here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll be at our corner. So we're not going to work a treble on the end here, we've got a treble down there. We're going to work straight into that hole. So 3 trebles here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, on to the next one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's unravel some more. 1, 3, and now we've reached our corner. So here now, taking care not to crochet this yarn at all, we're going to work 3 trebles into the hole on the corner. So here, okay, 1, 2, 3. We're going to work 1 chain, pull it tight. Now we're going to pick up our second colour, or our original colour, and we're going to pull it through. Okay, so we've pulled it through, but now we're going to pull on the darker colour just make sure it stays nice and tight. Okay, and now you're going to do another chain stitch just to lock that colour in place. Okay, so now you're going to work 3 trebles into the corner hole. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's what your corner's looking like. And we're going to work across this side to the end there with our original colour. So, working trebles in all of the holes, treble clusters. 3 trebles is a treble cluster. Here we go. Starting to come together now and look like a really nice square. Okay, almost at the end of this row. Our last treble cluster. There we go, so that's our last treble cluster. And as you can see, we're left with a treble hanging there. So we're just going to work 1 treble into the top here. There we go, that's our 1 treble, and that's the end of the row. And as you can see, that adds to that straight side there. So let's take this back so you can see it a bit clearer. We've got our definite distinction between the 2 colours appearing there, and yet overall the shape is still a square. So you're going to continue to do that for a total of 12 times. So you'll be able to count up the centre here, and from the start of the colour it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right the way up to 12. Okay, and when you've done that, you'll have a square that looks like this. So for those of you who don't need any further help, carry on. You're going to need a total of 12 squares for this blanket. So you could either use the same colour and have the whole blanket in, for example, the purple in the dark and the light, so each square will be like that. Or you can do what I'm going to show you as well, each square being a different set of colours. So it's entirely up to your imagination where you go with this. I can't wait to see your finished items. But for those of you who like to have some company as you're crocheting along, let's continue, shall we? So whenever there's a treble, you're going to have on top of it a single treble. Sorry, whenever there's a treble cluster, you can have a single treble on top of it. So it works the other way as well. So whenever you have a single treble, you do your 3 chains, turn your work, and you're going to have a treble cluster coming in here. So that's your first of the treble cluster. Now the second and the third. Okay, so can you see how that resembles this? Yep. So it's a two row repeat. So you're going to have, every other row is going to have a treble cluster on the end, and then alternately every other row is going to have a single treble or a 3 chain on the end. Okay, let's go. Treble clusters across here. Sometimes when I slip, it's easier to just undo it. Start again. And then other times it's easier to just pick up the loop. Apologies for my the remnants of my cold, but I tend to take a very long time to get better from things. So I decided to go ahead with filming this, as I've mentioned earlier. Okay, so we're at the corner again. We're going to work 3 trebles. Taking care not to crochet the second colour yet. So we've done our 3 trebles, now 1 chain stitch. Now let's catch the new colour, bring it through, pull everything tight, do our first chain to lock that colour in nicely, push the lighter colour out the way so that we don't accidentally crochet into it, and then in we go to the same hole and work 3 trebles. Here we go. Just making sure you can see that. Okay. Now we're going to work across here. Coming up to the end of our row, and because we've got that single treble there, or 3 chain, whichever it is, we're going to work into that hole there, a treble cluster. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Starting to look like a square. Awesome. So what are we doing here? So we've got trebles there, we've got trebles there, and we know every other one has to look the same. So this one has to come next. So 1, 2, 3. Oops. turn your work, unravel some yarn, and off we go, working into each hole our treble clusters. Oops. There we are. We're coming up to our corner. Here we go, 3 trebles into the corner, making sure that we are in the hole and not catching the other colour. 1, 2, 3, chain, pull tight, grab our new colour, pull it through, and again pull tight, and we're going to chain 1, pull that tight to secure the new colour. And we want the other colour to get out of the way, so I'm just going to move my wool so that it doesn't all get tangled. And we'll unravel some while we're at it. There we go. Okay, so into our corner, 3 trebles, and then working trebles all along the edge. Now don't worry if you're not as fast as me. Go at your pace, enjoy it. We do this for pleasure after all, don't we? The pleasure of the experience and the pleasure of giving the gift at the end, or of using our work for ourselves at the end. So just remember to enjoy it. Okay, so we're coming up to the end now of this row, and we'll look at what's already there to help us to know what to put here. So we've got a treble, a single, a treble, so we're going to need a single here. So you just work 1 single treble on the end there, and that's the end of that row. Okay, so you can see how the edges are staying nice and neat and straight, and our colour switch is a nice clean switch from one colour to the other. and you just you keep completing those 2 rows until you've got 12 rows. So you would start counting here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to do a further 8. So I'm going to leave you to do that on your own, and I'll come back with the next installment because if I can show you now that when you've done your 12, as I showed you earlier, let's use a different one this time. Let's count together so you know exactly what I'm talking about. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rows. Okay, and that completes this section of the square. You're going to need 12 finished squares in total to complete your blanket. So you can either finish your full 12 before you come back to the next video, or you can keep your eyes out for the next installment, because this is a crochet along, so the videos are being released 1 a week for 4 weeks. So we take you right from the beginning right to the end, and hopefully you'll keep up, and by the end of week 4 you'll have a completed blanket. So yeah, so for now, thank you for watching, thank you for joining in. Please do like and subscribe. It really helps me to know that you're out there and that you're appreciating what I'm teaching, and it will help you to be able to find the next installment as well, which if you click the bell, YouTube should notify you when the video is released. But also I've got a playlist on my YouTube channel, my Woolly Wumpkins channel, which has this crochet along in it, so you can find me there as well. I'm also on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. If you'd like to tag me in your projects and show me whatever stage you're at, I would happily share that with my followers, and we can all commend you for your choice of colours and your inspirations, and we look forward to seeing them. So thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next installment, which is coming soon. So for now, bye bye.